We'll have a moment of silent meditation and pledge to the flag. Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Be pit. Okay. It is May 31st, 10 o'clock. Call the meeting to order, and all three county commissioners are here. Our county administrator is not here today, but the lovely Miss Colleen Coombe will take over for me.
Good morning.
Good morning.
There are no exonerations. We have minutes for the May 24th, 2023 meeting. Vouchers, General County, $28,379.71. 911, $45. Chestnut Ridge Park, $7,395.44. Camp Muffley, $2,868.24. Mason-Dixon Park, $653.68. Mon County Center, $647.32. Recreation levy, $1,403. Purchasing card vouchers, General County, $34,196.42. Magistrate Court, $22.49. 911, $80.82. Chestnut Ridge Park, $110.54. Camp Muffley, $229.84. Mason-Dixon Park, $124.87. Mon County Center, $78.98. Assessor's valuation, $95.45 for a voucher total of $76,331.80. We have budget revisions. These are for in-house approval, general fund, civil process, jail reimbursable, jail non-reimbursable, home confinement. Positions for vacancies and boards and authorities are listed on our website, and we have fiduciary orders for May 31st, 2023.
Move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
Pop moving second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay. We now have an introduction of new employees and personnel changes.
The first one is for Mason-Dixon Park. It is a seasonal part-time employee. His name is Brendan Skavinsky. His rate of pay will be $12 an hour, and his start date will be June 1st.
Move to approve the position as presented.
Second.
Pop moving second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, passes.
The next one is for Camp Muffley. His name is Joseph Matthews. He will be a part-time seasonal concession stand worker. His rate of pay will be $11 an hour, and his start date is today.
Move to approve the position as presented.
Second.
Pop moving second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And
There
the
we go.
final one I have is for the prosecuting attorney's office. His name is Troy Weber. He will be a part-time employee administrative assistant with a yearly salary of $18,000, and his start date will be June 1st.
Move to approve the position as presented.
Second.
Pop moving second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And that's all the ones we have at this time, correct?
That's
Yes.
all the ones that I have received.
Okay. We now will open up comments for the public. If you would take 3 to 4 minutes, state your name, address, and feel free to come forward. Good morning, Jason.
Good morning. My name is Jason Charles.
I am known by no other name. I do not have an address to provide for you, for my home was taken from me when I was unlawfully incarcerated. Did you miss me? Did you perhaps think I was arrested by your sheriff, to whom I have emphatically professed his unwillingness to uphold to his oath? Have you turned from your wicked ways? Do you have any proof as to what I have said over the past months to be inaccurate in any way, incorrect? For if I have indeed spoken the truth, I assure you that I am your enemy. For the truth in the empire of lies is not tolerated. Are you lost without direction of righteousness? Have you confirmed what I have personally warned you about? All questions that I know that you will not answer, or rhetorical questions, if you will, unless you are willing to reply, for perhaps in my time away you have turned from your wicked ways, and you no longer must I come speak to you as my enemy, but as to a brother in Christ, to whom receives all the glory and honor and praise, for he and he alone is the living God, who sits on high to rule both above and in your heart. Allow me to recap then. This system is evil, for This current operation is contrary to the truth. The current enforcement of said system is based on a lie, and you are complicit in that lie, for you know the truth and suppress it from the people. You do not see that it is evil, for you have exchanged bitter for sweet. You are willing to sacrifice a few so that a few may prosper at the suppression of the masses. I came here week after week. I clearly demonstrated how your sheriff falsely incarcerated me, stole from me, and has nothing to say for himself in public, nor has he had the opportunity to my face. You had sympathy for me in an attempt to receive my irreplaceable family Bible, to no avail. Then I was told that I had to limit my speech to a topic, or from the topic of truth, and specifically the emphasis on serving the living God, Jesus Christ, was curbed to potholes and bike safety. As I entertained that for several weeks, I think at the end you may have seen my frustration and now my obvious disobedience to that request. For if you have not changed course to a direction of righteousness, I feel the lack of self-awareness will be devastation to the people you claim to serve. For if a leader is blind to the truth, then they will lead the people into a pit. I suppose I could have given a speech on the many beautification programs throughout our county and spoken about all the different trees. But you see, I am no arborist. But I do know the master arborist, and he stated, "Even so, every good tree bringeth forth good fruit, but a corrupt tree bringeth forth evil fruit. A good tree cannot bringeth forth evil fruit, neither can a corrupt tree bringeth forth good fruit. This system brings forth bad fruit. There is a way forward in righteousness. Seek it with all your heart, mind, soul, and strength."
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else who would like to speak? Good morning.
Morning. Hi, I'm Taryn Moser of 193 Paradise Circle, and today's the last day of school for our kids. And speaking of schools, I want to circle back around to the intersection of US 119 and Goshen Road where Ridgedale Elementary sits. I've come forth to you guys several occasions about the safety of this intersection, the speeds at which people travel. We have put up signs for 35 mile an hour with flashing lights, but the problem is there's no enforcement, so nobody follows these speed limits. So I'm hoping that maybe over the summertime, and we could reward the teachers and admin and all staff, maybe by the start of the new school year, we can get a light, a roundabout, some more, a school zone potentially. Not only is the intersection an issue, but it's also Goshen Road because we're coming in and out of that road. It is a very narrow roadway also. And in the 15 years I've been living out there, 8 years of kids going to school at Ridgedale, I have, for as highly trafficked as that road is, it's extremely rare to see any type of enforcement out there. So I'm hoping that with maybe some enforcement and getting something done with this intersection, we could bring more prosperity, you know, some better berms, some wider lane widths also along with that. A place for pedestrians. There's a lot of pedestrians now on this roadway. So we'll see what we can do this upcoming summer. And if you need my help with anything, you know where to get me at. So
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
If I can just respond just for quick.
Move to suspend the
Thank you.
rules so the president can respond.
Second.
Sure. First of all, I do want you to know that the Sheriff's Department has been out there multiple times. And when he's out there, word gets out he's out there, and everyone does slow down. We also have turned that over to the DOH, and there's some questions and concerns that though we believe, the three of us, it's imperative we put a light out there, there's a lot of individuals against it. So we can call back and see where they are at that. I know it was on the list, but then we didn't hear from them. I don't know if either of the other commissioners have any other information. I will get you that information. I think that's true. It slipped my mind, but I think it needs to, we'll look at that again. And I thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Okay.
Commissioner Bloom has updated DOH on that in our meetings with them and inquired
Right.
about it, and it's on their
It's
For
on
lack of
the,
a better term, it's on the list, but
Yes.
I don't know that it's on the list for a total intersection redo.
Well, I'm
But
not saying that.
they
but
are
it would be
looking
nice
at-
to like start moving forward with it.
yeah, I will
We
tell you
agree.
that getting a roundabout or something done by fall was probably not
I know,
viable,
but,
but, you know,
shoot for the stars.
exactly. But
right, we will see what we can do, and I appreciate you coming in and alerting to the people. Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
Is there anyone else? Okay, seeing none, we will end comments from the public, and now we have Sheriff Perry Palmer in the presentation of the 2022 delinquent tax list.
Good morning.
Good
Morning.
morning.
I didn't get you anything. I mean.
You just put a hole in there.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, let's talk good, bad news
So
and
what
good news.
what I'm presenting you with is that 2022 personal property taxes and real estate, and they just need certified by the commission, so we can list the county clerk to be recorded.
I'm making sure my name's not on.
No, these are numbers before the real estate
Right.
tax
Correct.
sale, right? Because
And
they
they're-
haven't been
they're pretty
redeemed
much-
yet, for the most
They're
part.
pretty much, last year's pretty much on course with what they did.
Okay.
I move that we approve the delinquent list as presented.
Second.
Properly moved in second, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you, I
How-
guess.
Sheriff, how did the tax sale go? I was there, but I didn't see the final numbers. Do we,
From what I understand, you girls, that it went real well.
what were, do we know what the number was, the final number from the sale?
It was.
Did it hit $1 million?
No, sir.
No.
It was just shy of 700,000.
Okay.
Wow.
I think it only took like, what, 2 hours?
Yes, sir.
Oh, it
Wow.
wasn't even
It
that.
took like
He was done with the
An hour
auction.
and a half or 2 hours.
Yeah,
something
once he
like that.
started calling them out, it was about 45 minutes. He was pretty
Yeah.
proficient, so.
So well, now we'll see how it works on the fall.
Okay.
Sure.
From the auditor, what he had explained, he visited last Thursday and I talked to him. He said across the state it was going very, very well and receipts
Yeah.
were up significantly.
I know Kelly had went up to Harrison counties because theirs was before ours, and it went. They have more property than we do, and it went quick.
Yeah.
It was about the same time.
And back to the delinquent list, thank you for providing this. You know, I always like to compare over previous years, and you provided information going back to 2017 where we had about 8,300,000 that was on this list, and this year you've been hovering around the low 5%, so it's 5.27, but total delinquent of 5,606,000. So you know you've been doing a good job of.
The girls and guys in the office do a real good job, and Kelly knows how you guys are always about numbers. So that's why you all got what you got.
And just for public information, could you clarify, this is the beginning, this isn't that we end up with?
Correct.
Okay, and that's where the
Correct.
confusion is. If you could just explain that for
Yeah.
the media.
Right, because usually when it's said and done, most of it gets collected.
Right.
Yeah, this is what was delinquent as of May 1, and as Commissioner Arnett stated, because we didn't have our 2022 collections like we did last
Right.
year with our sale, that's why it's a little bit, higher this time. But
Yeah.
that's, of course, is different now because we already sold all of our 2021s and 2022s.
Well, thank you. No, I
went with
just
it.
want to get that clear, because people think, oh, you're letting 5% go. No, we're not.
No.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Okay, grants. Colleen,
I have a request for reimbursement for the Community Development Block Grant in the amount of $1,612.80.
Move that we approve the president signing the grant documents as presented.
Second.
Bob moving second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. It passes. We have correspondence, invitation from Clay Patel FFA alumni barn ribbon cutting ceremony.
It will be on July 11th, and it will be following the fair parade.
Great. Okay. Letter received from Melanie Cook of 201 Pierpont Heights Drive regarding the condition of the roadway. And we just received the letter.
And I've reached out to Ms. Cook. We haven't touched base yet. I've called back, and it's kind of been a phone tag situation, but I plan to address that with her to the best that we can, at least.
Okay, thank you. Seeing that we have no unfinished business, new business. Consider for approval the West Virginia Local Government Election and Release Form between West Virginia participating local governments to resolve opioid-related claims against Mylan Pharmaceuticals under the terms and conditions set forth in the settlement agreement executed on May 22nd, 2023.
Move to approve the election and release form as presented.
Second.
Proper moved in second. Is there any need for discussion, or it's
No.
just, this is just the similar?
Yep.
Similar settlement,
Right.
still up in the air how it's going to actually be applied here, but.
Okay,
We're basically agreeing to the jurisdiction of the panel that's overseeing the
That's
mass
overseeing,
proceedings.
okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Consideration to approve an amendment to the special lease agreement with GP Mountaineer LLC Election Center site to address rent arrearage in the amount of $57,794.49 for the lease period January 1, 2020 through March 31st, 2023.
I move that we table this amendment until we receive further explanation and additional charges. This is for our current lease, and we received additional charges. I asked the question of whether that was for area that we were renting, and they just didn't calculate in the square footage. So that would be a logical, acceptable change, or whether it was a change in the actual rental amount. And we didn't get a response yet. So I'd rather clarify that. I don't want to just pay something blindly
agree.
without knowing what it is.
Second.
Bob moved second to table it. I appreciate that. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. We're all in agreement on that one. Okay, C, I can just remove.
Just read it and then.
To approve funding of the $50,000 for the support of the NCAA Regional Baseball Tournament at the Monongalia County Ballpark. And as we saw, we did not receive the regional.
Yes, a move to remove that item from the agenda.
Yeah, we had decided
Yes.
to do that. It's still stuck on. It was cluttered.
Okay.
It was still on our agenda. So.
No problem. To consider
So he
rescheduling.
moved to.
Oh, do we have to move to?
Yeah, it's on the agenda, so I think we have to remove it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Move to
Sorry.
take no action, I assume.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Second, properly moved to take no action. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, yeah, that's fine.
And for Brad's purposes, Commissioner Arnett motion and I
Yes.
second it.
Right.
Sorry.
A little out of order there for you, sorry.
Yeah, I know, it's a shocker. We have
try to keep it in line.
we have to realize what happened. To consider rescheduling the June 21st, 2023 meeting of the Mon County Commission to June 22nd, 2023. And that's because one person isn't going to be here, and there's also another county commissioner that has a commitment, a family commitment that has to be dealt with.
Move to
And-
approve the rescheduling of the 6/21/23 meeting to moving it to 6/22/23.
Second.
Properly moved and second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Bless you. To consider proposal provided by Highmark Blue Cross Blue Shield for county employee health and dental insurance premiums effective August 1st, 2023, and setting new premiums. Do I have a motion?
Move to approve the proposals as presented.
Second with some discussion.
Properly moved and second, and I will turn it over to.
So basically, we've been in negotiations with our insurance broker in Highmark for the renewal of our insurance, and it's been meeting after meeting after meeting, month after month, and our initial increase was going to be up over 20%, over $1 million increase in that coverage. Now, through heavy negotiations from our broker and through some plan changes, we've knocked that all the way down to just a 2.1% or around 2% increase to the county. Now, some of those changes in the plan are going to be felt, but they're minimal. It's basically a little contribution from each employee toward the premiums every month, around $17 a pay. And there will be some changes with, slight changes with deductible and with some co-insurance and a slight tweak to the prescription plan. Mainly, the changes would be felt by those who utilize the insurance the most. Your 90%, 80% of our employees won't feel much at all in the change, but it became necessary. It's important to note that for the last 7 years, we've had, by and large, every increase has been absorbed by the county, and it just became a point where the increases are so drastic every year, it wasn't viable to continue on the exact same plan and the exact same absorption fully from the county on that. So this gets a little buy-in from the employees. We still are, as you can see by the next agenda item, we will consider and vote on the still funding the HSA $2,000 health savings account for the employees that participate in the HP plan, the high deductible plan. So essentially, a large portion of those out-of-pocket costs are still borne by the county, it's just in the form of a home health savings plan. So that any specific information as it will be any specific information as to the increases and the changes in the plans will be on ADP. There will also be training set up by USI, our broker, that will let the employees know how anything changes and what effects that actually will have. But the coverage is essentially staying the same. You still have, and even with these changes, we are still ranking in the mid 90 percentile nationally in health insurance plans. Just taking, for example, PEIA is going to a straight 80-20 split. We're not anywhere close to that. And so we feel it's still, as Tom likes to say, the Cadillac plan of health insurance. It's just we've had to make a few tweaks to make it more viable for the county. Sean, did you have anything to add?
Commissioner Arnett's point, across the past 6 years, we've absorbed an increase of about $250,000 a year. So it's like $1.5 million over the past 6 years. And we were looking at $1 million just this year. So we're trying to tweak the plans because we're looking at probably even bigger increases next year. So we're just trying to be proactive and make adjustments to the plan so that we can kind of figure out where those changes will take us. And also to Commissioner Arnett's point, the county still pays 92.4% of the overall premiums of health insurance, and which equates to about $17,000 an employee. That we pay per year. So that's, again, that's very, very generous, as Ms. Commissioner Arnett said, that we do benchmarking on where we're at every year, and we're always off the charts as far as generosity. So anyhow, happy that we can keep it where it's at.
It's important to note that most corporate entities and what we consider our competitors for recruiting employees, if there's an increase, it just gets passed on to the employee at 100% rate.
Right.
We try really hard not to do that. I mean, when I say meeting after meeting, we probably had 6 with our brokers going through these numbers ad nauseum, which I know is like candy to Sean going through numbers, but for Tom and I, it's a bit of a challenge. But we've worked really hard, and we feel pretty comfortable with the plan we've put together.
I agree. It's been properly moved in second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All three agree. Consideration to contribute $2,000 to the health savings accounts for each employee participating in the high deductible health plan as part of the county's group health insurance, and establish that those contributions were made in full at the inception of the plan year beginning August 1st, 2023. This is what you were talking about.
I move that we approve the contribution to employees' health savings account for those employees on the high deductible health plan in the amount of $2,000 to be deposited in full at the beginning of the plan year starting 8/1/23.
Second.
Properly moved in second. Since it was already discussed, all those in favor say aye.
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 Okay. Colin, do you have any other new business? Sean?
No.
I have one item, and I've on your desk is a copy of what I would like to call the Monongalia County Commission ordinance regulating soliciting, panhandling, and I would just say it's the substitution for what we have now. All I'm asking is that I've submitted it publicly to you. We will discuss it, and then if deemed acceptable, I would ask that next week we would set a public hearing for the meeting. So we will discuss it, and it is. This is an outcome of the meeting that we had with all the police chiefs and a representative from every city, and I really think it's a real good program, and there's an educational component. There's specifically the area that it addresses is what's called the captive audience doctrine, and that's the one area that has been accepted by the Supreme Court and the courts. So I'm asking we all take a look at it. Okay, and now I'm only presenting it at this time.
Yeah, and just to be clear, Commissioner Bloom has taken the existing ordinance and
Right.
we've been tweaking it and talking with some other municipalities and stuff. If two of us are in a meeting, it's a quorum, so Commissioner Bloom has been kind of championing this.
Right.
We as a commission will take a closer look at it. For a lot of times we've been glancing over, what Tom's been sending us, but now's the time that we'll take a closer look at it and decide what we need to do with it, and then go from there.
Thank you. And as and I do want to reiterate what he said. This is not a commission's proposal. This is an individual county commission proposal. Now I'm presenting to you, and then we can take a look at it and we'll go forward. And that's really important, I believe. And I appreciate your support on allowing me to do this. And also, one other thing that came out of the meeting that you need to know, we will now be meeting every 6 months to discuss general issues among the police in the city of the county. And I really do think that that is something that we've been trying to do for a long period of time. And I know the three of us are supportive of that. Reports from elected officials and department supervisors. Anyone interested coming up? Seeing none. Reports from county commissioners. Sean?
Since our last meeting, Commissioner Bloom and I last Wednesday went to, well, we ended up seeing each other there and watching the game together at the Mohawk Bowl baseball edition. It was good to see the two teams. I'm happy for University High School. I hope they do very well in the state. We've been well representative with either school, but University High School has certainly had a magical season. Their scores have more resembled a softball game most of the games that I've seen. So I wish them luck. They
Friday at 7 o'clock.
Friday at 7 o'clock. So
Yes.
Thursday we had Milan Park Foundation Board of Directors meeting, and then I listened into the Board of Health meeting, and after that, Auditor McCuskey visited me, and I took him to talk to a couple of the members of the Executive Committee of the Development Authority to get an update on the Richwood project, which Auditor McCuskey has. We're working through the process to access some of those funds that are a result of these property sales that can be made available to tear down existing buildings. So we're looking to access some of those funds to help decrease the carrying costs to the Development Authority of all those buildings that are uninhabited and need to be torn down and will be torn down as part of that project. Friday we had staff reports, and we also had a call with the athletic department, AD Ren Baker and Assistant AD Matt Wells. Really focusing on a lot about our ballpark, Mon County ballpark, but also talking about how the aquatic center, the track, how we can continue working with the athletic department going forward to make sure that in areas where we can synergy and work together, that we're certainly doing so. This week's been a fairly slow week. Tomorrow's a regular day. Friday we have staff reports, and I believe it's the second week I have a broadband call that afternoon. And that's it. Thanks to the sheriff and the tax department for all the work they do on the delinquent cells. Those numbers have been very minimal. And again, the public needs to understand that we're going to collect those dollars. It's just that's what's delinquent right now. So it doesn't represent any forgiveness or anything like that.
Right.
That's something we can't do. That's all I have.
Just a few things. I was also at the baseball game, although I didn't see anyone. I snuck in at the end and poked my head around, and it was pretty impressive what was going on there. It was fun to see. Again, my loyalties were split, but I'm certainly happy for the result. I did attend the tax sale. It was pretty fascinating watching how it worked. I think one particular property at Battelle went for $48,000 on a $4,000 tax bill. So it was interesting to see which properties went and which ones that I thought would have a great deal of interest really didn't. Commissioner Bloom and I attended the 84 Lumber ribbon cutting in Delslow last week. It was pretty fascinating. It's a beautiful facility. There was a lot of turnout, and I think it's going to be nice for that area and for the town to have another competitor. Now, granted, 84 has been here, but as they said, it was difficult to know if that was just a contractor store or if it was for the public. Apparently, anybody could have gone there. I never went in that store, and the whole time I've been here. But this new store is very inviting, and they have a state-of-the-art window and kitchen design program. So it was pretty neat. It was neat to see all the contractors there. We did have a setback last weekend at our pool at Camp Muffley. We had a part that was, as the pool was being opened, the part broke and couldn't be replaced quickly enough. They were able to scramble and get one installed on Saturday, and my understanding is the pool is completely operational now. Health Department has signed off, and so I believe we are open today. So get out and check out that beautiful pool. I had a meeting yesterday for the Hazel's House of Hope, the entity that owns the building, just an update on what was going on there. Pretty informative. And that's about it. My son graduated last week in high school, so glad to put that behind us and move on to the next step in his future. And I appreciate all the Board of Education members were at the graduation. I saw Ron Lytle and Mr. Kelly there, and it was neat to see everyone there. And it was a nice. The school did a really good job. It was a nice program, and we appreciate the efficiency to get everybody in and out of that. The stands were full like I've never seen at a football game, but there wasn't a seat open, and they really got people in and out pretty efficiently, and we appreciate that. That's all I've got.
Okay. Basically, just to reiterate, yeah, I was with, I was at the grand opening at the 84 Lumber, and if anyone ever has a chance to hear Mrs. Hardy speak, she is interesting. She's very funny, very active, and very supportive of having 84 being in part of our community, and that was really good. We attended the baseball game, as all three of us talked about. 1,300 students, or 1,300 individuals came to it, and out of that also came the meeting with Ren Baker and Matt Wells that we wanted to meet. And what also happened out of that meeting is once the baseball regionals are over, we are going to get back together to restart the scheduling committee so we can look at different events and so on down the road. And again, I can't say enough. I want to thank every one of the cities that attended, and they brought the police chief. And I thought it was a really positive meeting to try and deal with a problem that we're all facing, and it's a problem that has so many facets and causes other problems. And hopefully we will see where we move from it. And it was great that everyone's in the room, and we plan on meeting again. And that's it. So with that, if I have a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
We be gone.